So I find myself in a place where I just really don't give a fuck. I'm gonna take my earphones off of this. I mean, my earmuffs. I'm in a place where it just doesn't matter. Like all the things that, excuse me, I'm getting sleepy. All the things that used to really bother me, I notice they don't matter as much anymore. I think part of it is because I'm medicated, but the other part of it is just, I just don't care anymore. And I notice there is, with some people, this like continuous angst with the world and how things are changing and they're doing this and that and the third. And I feel like that's the trap. Like, if there is a trap, I feel like that is it. To get caught up in what the world and people and governments and all of this shit is doing. I know this is so counterproductive. I know, and logically, it's counterproductive to do nothing. And maybe for a greater part of the world or people, maybe it is counterproductive. That's not what they should do. But I feel like for me, I'm only speaking for myself. Doing feels like the opposite of progress. So, all the things that's going on in the political world, in the physical world, all the disasters and killings and people dying. I think, like, in the past 3 days, I think like 6 celebrities have died, or people like actors and singers, and people have died just like, it kind of reminds me of 2012. 2012, a lot of people just died, like back to back to back. In the world, in my family, and just all types of places, people just dipped out. I'm like, is this the rapture? Is it? Who knows? No, but my cat is she hears me talking. She's like, you're talking, but you're not talking to me. Um, I don't know if you can hear. She's like, wah, wah, wah. But like I said, I know it seems counterproductive, and like I said, for a lot of people, it probably is. But for me, it is the actual production of becoming better, because I feel like feeding into it just gives it more life. Feeding into all the things, for me, I can't speak for the world. For me, just gives the stuff in my life. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I truly live in a mental world of my own. Maybe, I am too separated from the world and society or whatever. That may be true. But whenever I dive my head into the world and its shit, I become miserable. And when I dip out and focus on myself, my life, getting the things that I need, giving myself the things that I need, doing what it is I feel like I'm supposed to do or want to do, my life is better, you know. I see a lot of people worrying about, I think this whole thing with the Meta agreeing for a payout. I'm sorry, it's close to my bedtime. And I didn't sleep that well yesterday. Well, I did, but I didn't sleep consistently. But anyway, with the whole buyout with, social media targeting kids and I'm like, this is a late, I'm like, this is a late situation because I feel like my generation, millennials, was literally the test dummies for everything that's happened to these kids with social media now. I was talking to a coworker today who's like 10 years younger than me, and he was talking about he was in middle school and scrolling through I think Instagram at the time or whatever, and saying that there was, I can't remember, it was live something, basically where you see people getting attacked or murdered or like dismembered live. That's really fucked. They wonder why like we're so desensitized. It's because that shit, like you're just scrolling on social media and boom, you see some shit like that, you know. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, these kids are fucked. Like, really, they are fucked. I would hear about stuff like that. Like my online life started in the early 2000s, like 2000 to till I graduated high school in 2010, which was crazy to him. I'm like, this dude graduated in 2019, you know. But I had known about stuff like that. I had known about well, back then it was forums. Forums where, a lot of Wild Wild West shit would go. You could see a lot of stuff you ain't supposed to see. I had no interest in stuff like that, aside from random porn sites that most kids was probably watching shit they had no business. This was before, parental blocks and shit. But anyway, um, and all kind of other shit I was getting into on the internet that I shouldn't have been. But I had no desire for stuff like that. I had no desire to meet somebody online or nothing crazy. And I'd known about certain things on the internet. You could find all kinds of crazy shit. And I seen a few things, but nothing like that. You know what I mean? And it just makes me really sad that this is these kids' experience seeing horrible things like that just randomly scrolling on the internet. And the whole thing with Meta paying 15 billion or something. Who are they paying? Are they paying the kids, the parents? No. And I was just listening to a chick talk about how it's impossible to do anything now without having to put your information out there in the world on the internet, signing up for this, that, having your ID for this. I'm like, oh, in a little bit, she was like, they're gonna make it to where in order to be on the internet, you have to put in your ID or a digital ID or something like that. And she was talking about how am I gonna deal with stuff like that because she makes money online. In my mind, I'm like, but they already do that. Like it's already happened. It's already happening right now. You're posting things on YouTube. You have an IP address. You have, a place where your internet pinged the tower to say where you are. You know what I mean? Like you are already being followed and watched and all of these things. What does it matter if they have your ID now? Like she was talking about, you have to, I think she's from Canada. You have to like, when you get on the bus, instead of paying money, it's all cards now, something like that. Or you have to, and I'm like, it's been like that for years. But anyway, and they can track where you're going. I'm like, they already do. If you carry a cell phone, they track where you're going all the time. Thinking like, oh, the location's not on. Doesn't matter. If you've used your cell phone in any shape or capacity to use the internet or anything, they already know the proximity of where you are. So what does it matter? Like, who cares? I feel like for me, I'm going to live my life regardless of who's watching, who's not watching. I'm going to do whatever it is. I have nothing that I'm trying to hide. Not illegal, at least. But I have nothing that I care to hide that they don't already know. So it's like, what does it matter? Our ability to be anonymous has been gone for many, many years. If you use any sort of internet or any sort of anything, you are already found, you know? And, you know, them putting cameras in different places is inevitable. Like, I don't understand what people thought was going to happen. But for me, I don't really give a shit. I probably should, but they already fucking know. It's like, what does it matter? Why spend my brain space worrying about shit like that when I could be using that time to think about things that I care about, what I'm going to create, or think about all the different concepts that run through my mind about life and the universe and self. And I could spend my time doing that instead. I was thinking about well, I guess they would consider her a saint now. And I want to say her name right, but I don't always say it right. Ananda Mahamai. Ananda Mahamai. She's an Indian lady. I believe she died in the 80s, something like that. She was considered like she's a guru. She was considered the like female reincarnation of Kali. And I've had encounters with her energy over the years. When I first heard about her on the internet, I felt a very strong connection with her, even though I didn't really know how to, I didn't really know what it meant fully, but I felt a very strong connection with her energy, but even more so the energy that she lived in. I admire the energy that she lived in. I think she was autistic as well. Of course, you know, that wasn't a thing people talked about back then, but I think so. And people talk about her teachings and the things that she would say. And for me, it's less about the things that she would say. It was more about how she led her life. She led her life in a space of, it is what it is. And just accepting what comes. And she didn't make it her business to be a guru. People just came to her and she answered questions. More people came, she answered more questions. You know, she never made it a point to do anything. She didn't really own anything. She was like Jesus. People would flock to her and would offer her things and would, you know, offer her places to stay. And then it became more of a thing later on in her life, but she just was. And I feel like I'm starting to understand that energy that she talked about and was living in, especially when she referred to herself as this little girl or this body. I feel like I understand that more now. Because when I look at things around me, and I was thinking about this today. I was at work talking to my coworker, and I found myself spaced out a little bit. I was still listening to him, but I felt like, you know that feeling when you become self-aware and you're looking at your body and it's like, I can't believe this is my body kind of thing. But it was a little more intense. It was more like I was looking through a window of my eyes and of my body and observing him, observing the conversation, observing the words I'm speaking to him, and observing the energy and situation around me. It was like I kind of stepped out of the space we were in, and I don't know, I can't quite explain it, I guess, any better than that. But for a minute, I feel like I was just observing an interaction between two people and I wasn't actually in it. It was very interesting. And I feel like that more and more. And the more that I integrate with myself and my spirit and my source self and letting go all of the belief systems and the world shit and the religions and the spirituality, letting go all of that shit and just really being within myself, all of that shit just don't matter. Like, who gives a fuck who's watching? Who gives a fuck if they see it or they care? Who cares? I'm gonna still do whatever it is that I want to do. I'm gonna still be in whatever way it is that I choose to be. And I'm gonna continue to do that until I leave this place. So what the fuck does it matter? I can spend my time worried about that, or I can spend my time with my cat looking up at me like, you're talking, but you're not talking to me. Or spend my time in my bed with myself, observing my inner self, my thoughts, or lack of thoughts, sleeping, and just generally being. I feel like it's the first time in my life I've gotten to actually just to be with myself. And I've heard for years my own spirit say, this life is for you this time. You know, I feel like in maybe other lives or other situations, I was needed by others or depended on by others. And it feels weird not to be that now. But I feel like this life is for you. I feel like I'm resting for all of my ancestors who never got a chance to rest. I'm being for all of those who didn't have the capacity to be and to think for themselves. I feel like I've been gifted a freedom that they didn't have and that they get to live through me. And why would I give that up or dilute that with the world and its shit? I don't feel like there's anything I need to believe in other than me. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be. I'm not meant to be. But I am. I just am. And that's enough.